Well, good evening. The Who's today were on at Randwick, or at headquarters. First time for a while. um, the track was upgraded from a heavy 8 to a slow 6. The rail was in the normal position, and there was a bit of a light breeze coming out of the southwest. Just before, I'll mention very quickly, there was a meeting at Warwick Farm last Sunday, of course. I've had a few people ask me, was there anything to say there? Um, at Warwick Farm on last Sunday, the track was good, the rail was normal. There was a steady breeze out of the northwest. Um, the only thing I'd say about the meeting, interestingly, there were no leaders that won. In race 5, leading on the fence was another love child sitting on its outside, the inside job who beat it. There's only about a half a length between them. They first around the bend, the leader only got beat a half a length, but that was the closest the leader got all day. And maybe the only thing I'd say to that meeting was in race 4, Queen's Elect. They did run along a little bit in that race, but it just settled back in last position. It rounded them up fairly quickly. If it holds that form, it'll win again. And in race 5, the race that I was just mentioning about the two leaders first around the bend, ran first and second. In that race, there was a runner called Boulevard Baron, who's now trained by Adam Duggan. It was extremely unlucky. With a bit of luck, he finished up running fourth, beating about 1.5 lengths. With a bit of luck, it nearly should have won. And that's about all I'd say there. Now, today's meeting at Randwick, as I say, was upgraded to a slow 6. And the first race was evident, I suppose, a lot of the pros bit the bullet straight away and said, no, the inside is completely gone. Of course, we saw Fiumicino, but that was a distance race, and get inside in the small field and then get to the middle, close to the fence on the turn, but get to the middle of the track in the straight and win easily. But nothing stayed close to the fence and won all day. And as I say, the first race, there were a lot of pros who bit the bullet when they saw the first winner, Downstown Charlie, come from second last when they topped the rise, ridden by the 3 claiming girl, Mrs. C. Vander Werf. It was more or less going nowhere and hanging in a little bit on her, but the favourite, the second favourite, Average, got out of the pocket, being held in the pocket by the favourite, having its first start, Bernabo. And when it did get clear, Average, it did look like winning, but it started to just weaken a bit, and it was the widest runner in the straight, the winner, Downtown Charlie, and it finished a little bit too good. It bobbed the second pick, Average, on the line, and they didn't forget to back it. It was $26, they say, given into $14 hard to get. I had a bad result on the first race. Figure-wise, they said there was 104.1 on the screen. There was only about 97 in the marketplace, and with, well, you can see straight away, I can see 4 and a bit percent straight away, and that is with Bernabo. They said the best luck was 310. Well, there was plenty of $3.50 given about that runner on the fence, plus a few others were a bit longer. The winner got to the outside, the better going. The second race, they said there was 107.4 on the screen, about 4 less in the marketplace, and about 103. And this race was won by Hunter Jack, and very similar. Hunter Jack was back in the field, and it came wide, topping the rise, and it was able to grab the very well-backed Mishani Persuader right near the line to beat it by a head. Mishani Persuader, it sat in 4th position, and Hunter Jack came down the outside. Should have finished a lot closer at Newcastle. a couple of starts ago, Hunter Jack, and it came down the outside and, as I say, bobbed the well-backed runner on the line. Not that the winner was always firm. It went up about a $13 chance, 12 to 1. As much as $15 was given, it only started about $13, but there was money for it. Starting favourite in this race was Oompa Loompa, who sat outside the leader, Time to Strike, who came across. Scarborough, of course, led Gay Trains, and it led Scarborough. The favourite, Oompa Loompa, sat on the south side, and it had every chance. They steered away from the fence a bit, but by the same token, the winner, as I say, was able to get to the outside. Race 3. Now, this winner was trained by Gay, Queenstown. It sat outside the leader, the stablemate, Tamariz. I own the lead. Gay had 2 runners. One led, one sat outside the lead, and it was a 2,000 metre race. And as soon as they got into the back straight, the leader, Tamariz, being steered by Adam Hieronymus, he stayed a good 3 off the fence all the way. Getting up on the inside of him was the Kiwi runner from New Zealand, Airtime, getting up inside them, turning for home, but that wasn't the place to be. And when they turned for home, Queenstown was able to, and they were, as I say, 3 and 4 off the fence, was able to get past the stablemate and get clear topping the rise and held that margin down to the line. It beat the runner that was running 3rd in the race by a length and a half, and that was Faust, who was well backed, $26 into about 19 at one stage, back out to 20. It ran 2nd, and the runner that sat 5th in the race, it ran 3rd, and that was Celtic Prince, having every possible chance. There are a couple of runners that finished close to the fence, as I say, Airtime and also Duet, number 15. It cut the corner as well. In that race, I think I told you, well, in that race, on the screen, they said there was 103.3, but there was about 3 less in the marketplace. About the neat 100 is all we gave. In the 4th race, this race, I had a very bad result on this race as well. In a field of 6, they said there was about 103.9 on the screen, but I only counted 97. These were the flux. Number 1 permit. It went from $5 out to as much as $6.50 given on the fence, back into $5.50. They said the best luck was only $5.50. A blind man could have got $6, but $6.50 was given. It didn't have a name, that have I. It went from $3 out to $3.80. Fiumicino, the winner, $10 into $7, very well backed. Motivado, it went from $2.80 out to $3.80. Sky Raider from $5 out to $6, and Count and Costa $31 or $30 into 26, under the 100, and it got into a position right behind the leader, Fiumicino. It led Sky Raider. When they turned for coming to the turn, it was getting off the fence, and Fiumicino, it was travelling. They were all off the bit turning for home. Fiumicino had got inside the leader. It was the only runner not off the bit. Jay Ford had plenty of horse underneath him. He once got getting to the lead, he steered a course to the middle of the track, topping the rise, and he stayed there all the way down the straight. He won by 3 lengths from Motivito, who sat in second last position, couldn't round him up, and it was another 5 lengths beaten, 8 lengths in the third hole was the equal favourite, Vadavai, who just plugged down the outside. The winner trotted in, and it was the big firmer in the race, $10 into $7. Race 5, they said there was 100.4 on the screen, and less in the marketplace, about 4 less, about 96%. We only gave, and there were a few runners that were longer. Well, noticeably, the bottom one here, Sweet Cinderella, they said was only $12 best luck. Well, there was plenty of 15, so there's a little bit. And Gullible, there was also $5.50 given about Gullible, starting $4.80. So you can see there was a little bit less in the marketplace, and a couple of other runners as well. And this was won by Elfina. Now this runner led. It had barrier. Well, drew. There were 2, 4, 6. There were 7 runners in this race, and 2, 4. No, there were 8 runners in this race, and it drew barrier. It came in a few marbles. There was about 3 from the outside, and it was able to go straight to the lead. Elfina lead but stay off the fence. Coming across and sitting on its outside was Sweet Cinderella, and he steered a course, as I say, off the fence. Jay Ford again, and when they topped the rise, sitting in about 5th position and easing off their heels was the very well back Gullible, the 3-year-old filly, the only 3-year-old in the race. And at the furlong pole, or even before then, if you were betting on the race, you would say that Gullible was going to round the leaders up. But when he got past a few runners and went out after Elfina, who had got clear from the others, he couldn't run it down, or she couldn't run it down, Gullible, and she failed by about a head margin. And right behind them, running 3rd, was Quizzed. It held on for 3rd, and comes from last near the fence, or lower off the fence, was Tidbit, who came from it ran 4th, beaten 1.6. The winner did a very good job there, holding on all the way. Race 6, we saw the favourite win here, She's Clean. They said there was 106. The figures in the last 3 races here at Randwick for the captains were very good. 106.7 they said on the screen in this race. They're about 3% less in the marketplace. But we had positive figures, about 103.5. There were a few runners unliable. The favourite, they said the best luck was $3.50 winner, and the winner, She's Clean. But there was a mile of $3.70, if not $3. Oh, there was $3.80 given about it. I was $3.60 at the end of betting, and it was a good win. It sat back. It had a drew barrier 1, She's Clean, and sat back in about 4th last position near the fence from the inside marble. But before the turn, ridden by Jason Collette, very good rider, I think he got a double at least. He had eased off heels, and then in between runners, after they topped the rise, and he went out after the leaders, and it was sitting up in 3rd position, 3 wide. The second horse, All the Way, News Alert, would have been a huge result for the captains. It was resuming from a spell, unfancied in the marketplace. It went from $21 out to $51. But as I say, after easing off heels and getting a bit of a split, She's Clean. She's very honest, and she finished just a bit too strong to only win by about the neck margin, 0.2 of a length. And number 9, who had come, it was on the fence in front of the winner, and it had to go through the middle of the field. I'm talking about D&G. It's fairly honest as well, and it was only 3/4 of a length, or 0.7 of a length away in 3rd position. The runners that stayed closest to the fence there were number 11, Ernest, and also number 10, who sat behind the leader on the fence, Harara, who went inside the leader when they turned for home. Leading was Gasquet, who didn't get really away from the fence, and I suppose stayed also in the worst going. Then we got to race 7. Now, as I say, the figures in these last 2 races for the captains was all right. 114 on the screen in race 7, and I think there was only about 3 or maybe 4 less in the marketplace. One notable difference, I must say, was Garuzu, number 9. Well, they said the best luck was $12. Well, it was never ever worse than $16. So there's a couple of percent. And who won this race? It was won by Oakfield Commands, who sat in about 8th position, one off the fence. And when they turned for home, Oakfield Commands was able to get middle splits and just hang on. It was a good solid win and a very good ride. And they didn't forget to back it. They took, I think there might have been $12 given, but they most certainly took the $11 towards the end of betting, starting $10 only, a 9-to-1 chance. It's a very honest runner. This race here, it was 6-to-1 the field. We gave 6 as a field, but as I say, there was a good bit of percentage on the board. It started favourite. It pulled up mildly lame, number 12, Eminent Domain. It was always back, and it went very ordinarily. But as I say, it pulled up lame, and it copped a little bit of a prat at the start as well. When they crossed the line between the first 3 4 horses, well, the first 3 horses, there was only 0.8 of a length. And I suppose run this race again and you would get a few different results, although the winner was a good little win, well ridden, and it showed a bit of fight to push through in between horses and win. Running second was Brian's Honour, who was I laid late. It copped a bit of a check. Well, Mr. knuckled over at the start, and this run wasn't bad. And also, it was well backed. Plenty of runners backed in this race. Fowles on, as much as $21 given. Into only about $18 or $19, and it was only beaten a half a length. As I say, run the race over again, you get a few different results. I don't think there were any really bad luck stories in the race by the same token. Race 8, and here, well, there is a big difference, but still there was a bit of percentage for the captains to work. They said there was 117.5 on the screen, but there was a good 10 less in the marketplace. Now, these were the flux. Thumbtacks went from 17 out to 21. Wild and Proud was always $41. Merlin Mustang, it was 13 out to 15, back into about $13. Now, Balaban, they said the best luck was $5, a 4-to-1 chance. Well, I was $6 when they jumped. Plenty of $5.50 about. Then we had Irish Dream. They took $26, started 21. The Winner Cup of Tea, they bet as much as 13, started 12. Rigmarole was 100 out to 150. Under the Sun, very well backed. $10 at one stage under the Sun, only started about a $6.50 chance, 11 to 2. Destiny's Kiss, who was stone last Destiny's Kiss. This runner made up more ground than any runner all day. It was hard ridden, well back in, if not second last position, might have been even last coming to the turn. It was pulled very wide, Destiny's Kiss, and like it did last start at Rose Hill, it made up many lengths. It got beat 3.2 lengths running into 4th hole, and it was $7 out to $8.50, if not $9. Yes, $9 back into $8.50. Renew Vitality was $8.50 out to 12, back into 11. Snitsky was $6.50 out to 8, back into, or started that price. Ulona, you wouldn't see it. It was 30 out to 51, back into 31. Altered Boy, they said the best luck was 26. It was a mile of 41 when they jumped. For a Rainy Day, it was, you wouldn't see it, I don't think, but $12 given about For a Rainy Day, plenty of it. It only started about a $9 chance, if not less. And Namsarai, $19 into about 16. The figures were all right, about 107 at the top odds. And who won this race? Cup of Tea. It led on the fence, Snitsky, and it ran along with Renew Vitality on its outside. The winner sat midfield on the fence. It didn't really cut the corner close to the fence, but by the same token wasn't far from it. While all this was happening, while it was cutting the corner and going out after the leaders, sitting in third hole was Under the Sun. Under the Sun had got past the leaders fairly easily, although it was full bore at the time. But Cup of Tea, it came from sliding through near the fence, as I say, couple off, but then getting wider on the track. Finishing inside, by the same token, inside the second horse, but finished far too strong to win by 1.3 lengths. And hanging on for third after sitting in fourth place was Merlin Mustang after drawing barrier 3, beaten 3.1. And the runner who made up all the ground, the most ground all day, was Destiny's Kiss. That was about the meeting. I hope you had some luck. Wyong is on tomorrow. I'm not going to do a review. Speak to you after the meeting next Wednesday. Hope you had some luck. Good evening.